Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're joining us from, and welcome to the latest C2GLearn webinar from the Carnegie Climate Governance Initiative. I'm Nick Harrison, and for those of you not familiar with the Carnegie Climate Governance Initiative, we're a time-limited, foundation-funded initiative of the Carnegie Council for Ethics and International Affairs. And C2GLearn is one of our series of online events that we convene to catalyze learning about climate-altering approaches and their governance. And you can access recordings on many other topics through our website on 3Ws, c2g2.net, and click on the C2GLearn button, and you can explore more content there. So today we're going to learn more about how the Working Group 1 report of the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change Sixth Assessment addresses carbon dioxide removal and solar radiation modification, and explore what, if any, implications this might have for governance. Now, this Working Group 1 report is the first of several reports, more coming out this year. And the latest report that was published last year addresses the physical science basis of climate change. Now, almost 4,000 pages, there's a lot to take in. So I'm delighted to welcome today three distinguished professors to help us on our learning journey. These three speakers are among the many international authors that contributed to this report, and it can help us to better understand what it tells us about CDR and SRM. So if our guests are now on the screen, if I'd like to just briefly introduce our three guest speakers. Firstly, in no particular order, we've got Professor Rogelj from who's joining us live from London. Joeri is Director of Research and Reader in Climate Science and Policy in Imperial College London, and a Senior Research Scholar at the International Institute for Applied Systems Analysis. He's a lead author of Working Group 1 AR6, and also was a coordinating lead author of the special report on 1.5 degrees global warming, was published in 2018, and the previous Fifth Assessment report. He's also a consummate lead author of the United Nations Environment Programme's Emission Gaps report, and welcome, Joeri. Second up, we have joining us from Vancouver in Canada, Professor Kirsten Zickfeld, who's Distinguished Professor of Climate Science in the Faculty of Environment at Simon Fraser University in Vancouver, British Columbia. Also a lead author of the Working Group 1 Sixth Assessment, and a lead author of the IPCC's special report on 1.5 degrees as well, and a contributing author in the fifth and third assessments too. Welcome, Kirsten. And thirdly, joining us later at night from Bangalore, we have Professor Bala, who's professor at the Center for Atmospheric and Oceanic Sciences at the Indian Institute of Science. And he's published over 100 peer-reviewed journal papers on climate change and the carbon cycle. Main interests in research cover modeling of climate change, climatic effects of land cover change, and climate engineering. And Bala is also a lead author for the Working Group 1 contributions to both the AR6 reports and AR5 reports. So welcome, Bala, and thanks very much for joining us, guests, and those joining us live for the webinar. So let's get started. We're going to begin today with presentations from each of our speakers, which conveniently have been pre-recorded, so you can watch them again at your leisure if you miss anything or you have to pop out for a coffee halfway through. And then we'll reconvene once again with our live speakers, experts here for a Q&A session. So whilst you're watching the presentations, feel free to start adding any questions you have for the speakers in the Q&A box at the bottom of your screen, and then we'll try to get through as many of those questions as we can in the time that we have. So I think I'll now ask my colleagues, to please start the presentation, and over to our speakers.